Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. A man who admitted to killing and dismembering a Nebraska hardware store clerk back in 2017 has been sentenced to death. We have the details now from court in our top story at 5. 54-year-old Aubrey Trail was convicted in 2019 of first-degree murder and criminal conspiracy to commit murder. That was in the 2017 killing of Sidney Loof. A 3-judge panel sentenced Trail today. Prosecutors say Trail and his girlfriend, Bailey Boswell, planned to kill someone before. Met the 24-year-old Loof on the dating app Tinder and lured her to them. Loof's body parts were found in garbage bags, cut up into 14 pieces and left along country roads and ditches in rural Clay County. A sheriff says that a $15,000 and counting has been pledged as a reward now for information that helps investigators find out exactly what happened to a missing Iowa boy. The Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office says these pledges come from businesses in the Montezuma area, as well as just people who are concerned about the disappearance of Xavier Harrelson. That money will be paid out for information that leads to the 11-year-old. He has been missing since May 27th now. Tips can be called in to police by calling the number there on your screen. That is 641-623-2107. Again, 623-2107. Last month, President Joe Biden called for a, quote, redoubling of efforts to investigate the origins of COVID-19 after new reports pointed to the Wuhan Institute of Virology as the likely origin of that virus. Now a bill has been introduced to the House Foreign Affairs Committee. That's to pull U.S. funding to that Chinese lab.
We don't know how that money is being spent. Again, there is very little transparency there. And so certainly if it is being sent to China, who is a near peer adversary and a competitor on the global scale, we have no idea how those funds are being used and what they're being used to develop.
China has rejected any links between the first COVID-19 cases and that Wuhan Institute. And today, President Biden kicks off his trip to Europe, marking his first foreign visit since taking office. For the next 8 days, he will meet with world leaders in the United Kingdom, in Brussels, and Geneva. Our Washington correspondent Raquel Martin has the latest.
In his first trip since taking office, President Joe Biden says he wants to renew alliances with allies of the United States and send a strong message to any foes.
We're going to make it clear that the United States is back and democracies of the world are standing together to tackle the toughest challenges.
President Biden says the world's leading democracies must come together to push back against a rising China and an increasingly aggressive Russia.
Ensuring strategic stability.
President Biden is promising to confront Russian President Vladimir Putin face-to-face while in Geneva next week, after the FBI concluded cyber Russian gangs were responsible for 2 massive cyber attacks that threatened the U.S. gasoline and meat supply.
The United States will respond.
That it is simply unacceptable that the Russians allow these criminal organizations to operate within their country.
Michigan Democratic Senator and Chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, Gary Peters, says there must be consequences.
We need to be even more aggressive.
Republican Senator Josh Hawley agrees.
I think the message to Russia is that we're not going to look the other way while they act like an outlaw state.
Hawley also wants European countries to play a more active role.
They are going to have to take primary responsibility for their own defense against Russia in Europe. We need to focus on China.
In Washington, Raquel Martin, KCAU 9 News.
Meanwhile, the sponsor of the Keystone XL pipeline tonight says it's pulling the plug on that contentious project. This after Canadian officials failed to persuade the Biden administration to reverse its cancellation of a permit. That pipeline would have transported crude from the oil sands fields of Western Canada down to Steel City, Nebraska. Construction on that 1,200-mile line began last year. That's when former President Donald Trump revived the long-delayed project. That is after it had stalled during the Obama administration. And several new bills were signed today by Governor Kim Reynolds. One of them will affect the way government and American history is taught in the public school system. This newly signed law prevents the teaching of divisive concepts, as they're called. This includes topics like systemic racism or white privilege, but the Republicans who wrote the law say it will not outlaw diversity training altogether. Tyson Foods is now aiming to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions. The meat processing giant says the move will be made across its global operations and supply chain by the year 2050. In the meantime, the company has a goal of 30% greenhouse gas emission reduction by 2030, as well as 50% renewable energy across its domestic operations. To do so, Tyson plans to expand grazing land for beef production and to eliminate deforestation throughout its supply chain, among other measures. As it continues to warm up here in Siouxland, it is important that you make sure your AC units are up and running as well. That's because a refrigerant used in many systems installed before 2010 is no longer being imported or even manufactured in the United States. It's called R22, and more than 10 years ago, it was identified as bad for the environment. With it being discontinued, the price of R22 still on the market will also continue to rise. Coming up tonight at 10, KCAU 9 News reporter Jason Toktajian explains why the coolant was deemed unsafe for the environment and also why it's important to regularly maintain your AC units. A federal law governing how college athletes can earn money off their fame seems certain to pass at some point. There's no real debate among lawmakers on Capitol Hill about whether or not college athletes should be permitted to monetize their name, their image, and their likeness. But less than a month before the NIL laws go into effect in several states, NCAA President Mark Emmert wants Congress to develop a national standard.
Conferences don't follow state lines. We've got lots of multi-state conferences that could have different laws in place. So it seems to me that, now we're in a position where we have to do something. But what we do is still a point of discussion.
There were no athletes among those witnesses who testified, but there is a plan to hear from a panel of athletes sometime in the future. And it's time now for our first check on the weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson is standing with me here. And Scott, I did not plan this, but I do kind of match the pinks and reddish hues.
I was planning on it today,
going on. You did as well. That means, in short, no surprise, it's hot in Siouxland again.
It is hot once more, Sophie. We saw our temperatures get up there into the 90s this afternoon. 91 in Sioux City, 93 today in Lamar's and Yankton, 94 this afternoon in Wayne, and 91 for Carroll, Denison, and Audubon. Temperatures tonight should be in the 60s and 70s. It looks like tomorrow is going to be even hotter, but we are identifying a chance of some showers and storms coming our way late Thursday night going through the morning hours of Friday. Some of those could be strong or severe. You can see on Friday afternoon we could have some redevelopment southeast of Sioux City. We'll have more information on that as well as a slightly cooler weekend coming up in the full 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
Thanks, Scott. Well, Siouxlanders gathered at Pearl Street Park this afternoon. That was to celebrate United Way of Siouxland's 100-year anniversary. Members joined a handful of special guests in reflecting on the impact the organization has made on the community.
We are just so excited and so thankful for the organizations and people that have stepped up to help us celebrate this amazing milestone. And we are seriously excited about this year and the decade to come.
United Way also announced their new Get on the Bus campaign. They hope that will inspire more Siouxlanders to make a difference within their own community. Turning now to some financial news. Amazon might be looking for a new partner to handle its credit cards. Several reports say the retail giant is taking bids now to take over its co-branded cards from JP Morgan Chase. The portfolio contains more than $15 billion in lending. According to Bloomberg, both American Express and Synchrony Financial are in on that bidding. And traders tonight are trying to figure out where the dollar might go as the recovery from the pandemic continues. It's been on a 15-month downward trend against other worldwide currencies, but has been bouncing up today. It could get more of a boost after inflation data is released and a European Central Bank meeting, both of those expected tomorrow. Speaking of money, paying taxes can be draining for Americans, but what about the wealthy? The details inside a stunning income tax report on some of the richest people in the country coming up.
And it looks like tomorrow is going to be one of the hottest days of 2021 so far. Some thunderstorms line up with a cold front on Friday morning, and it looks like temperatures will tumble down briefly for the weekend. Your 9 on 9 forecast right after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
in the 90s for basically all of next week, and we'll see some more bright sunny skies, so a dry pattern taking hold once again. Here's a view of a great picture, a sunset in the West Hills. This was courtesy of the Hoferts down in Mundaman, Iowa. Thank you for passing in that picture. Go to SiouxlandProud.com, find the weather tab, and send us your photos if you have a great pic that you want to show everybody.
Really beautiful summary shot. Thanks for that one.
You're welcome.
Well, there is nothing like a photo album to bring back old memories, a physical photo album that is, but what happens if that collection goes missing? How a briefcase of lost photos was found in a park coming up. But first, a new report is revealing just how little some of the richest Americans pay in federal income tax. From Warren Buffett to Mark Zuckerberg, we dive into the numbers and how it's legal next. Now to the new and stunning report from investigative group ProPublica, releasing tax returns of some of the country's wealthiest people. These documents revealing just how little they apparently pay in taxes, and it's all legal. ABC's Rena Roy explains.
From Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Rupert Murdoch, and Mark Zuckerberg, investigative group ProPublica revealing in stunning detail just how little America's richest seem to have paid in taxes over the last 15 years.
What we found is they're completely out of the tax systems.
Documents show in 2007, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos made $3.8 billion, but Bezos, now the richest man in the world, paid zero in federal income taxes that year, same as Tesla billionaire Elon Musk in 2018. But a completely different story for the average American making a median salary of about $60,000 to $70,000, according to ProPublica senior reporter and editor Jesse Eisinger.
They're paying about 14% on income taxes. These guys are paying 3.4% on the equivalent of their income, their wealth growth. That seems like a deeply, profoundly unfair system.
Between 2014 and 2018, legendary investor Warren Buffett made $24.3 billion, paying just $23.7 million in federal income taxes during that same time period. Still telling CNBC he supports higher taxes for the wealthy.
The wealthy are definitely undertaxed.
In a statement saying, I continue to believe that the tax code should be changed substantially. ProPublica found nothing illegal. Its investigation focused on federal income taxes, which are largely based on wages and salaries. These billionaires bring in most of their cash through investments rather than salaries, and that gain in wealth is not taxed until a sale, and then usually at a low tax rate, showing that the federal tax code skews toward the wealthy.
While going for a walk in the park, you may not be searching for an actual treasure, but for one man, a briefcase discarded in the trash caught his eye. Why the photos inside sent him on a search to find the owners and return memories. Next. Lost and found. An old assortment of family photos has been recovered in New York. Adrian Smith introduces us to the man who found them and his efforts to find the owners.
It was your typical Saturday evening for Dmitry Romanenko, going on a walk in Elmwood Park with his girlfriend and dog.
We parked here, walked the length of the park, and let the dog swim down to the deep ends of the creek, and then came back, and I noticed that there was a briefcase sticking out of the garbage can.
But he couldn't believe what he discovered inside. Hundreds of decades-old family photos, letters, and precious memories.
I love looking at family pictures, so I couldn't imagine why it was in the trash, and it makes sense because it has locks on it. It looks like somebody smashed through the side, so it looks like somebody stole it.
Knowing he wants to reunite the briefcase with its rightful owner, Dmitry took it home.
The first thing that I wanted to do was get exposure somewhere, the Strathmore Facebook page or Syracuse History on Instagram. I immediately just started spreading them all out, and I tried to find the biggest space possible because there's probably over 500 pictures there, and seeing recognized faces and who's in a lot of the pictures and who's family, who could be sisters, who's their parents.
After studying every picture, letter, and document, he pieced together this family story. Dmitry believes it belongs to Geraldine Neary and Robert Hunt, or their relatives.
I just love to have them come get it, I guess. I would like to see it back in the family's possession and for them to enjoy.
Hoping this lost treasure makes its way back home.
Pretty cool. Taking a live look outside right now on a sunny night. Scott returns with one more check on your forecast. Stay with us. Before we wrap up at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. He's in the newsroom for us. Happy Wednesday, Tim.
Hey, indeed. Good afternoon, Sophie. Coming up in just a half an hour, a closer look at a new law now on the books here in Iowa that outlaws divisive concepts in diversity training. We'll let you know what that's all about and why it's important coming up. Also at 6 tonight, June is National Dairy Month, but hit hard by slumping prices. Many producers have gone out of business. At 6, members of the Western Iowa Dairy Alliance welcome Iowa's Lieutenant Governor to the farm. What they talked about coming up at 6. Also, right after World News tonight, finding a fix-it man over the summer can be difficult to do. That's why a group of South Dakotans is coming together to donate their time and expertise, helping folks complete projects otherwise left unfinished. We'll share that story coming up after World News tonight. And after a convincing win in the first round of the girls' state soccer championships, Spencer's in the semis today. Jake has the update in sports. That's at 6.
Very good.
Yeah, congratulations to them. We really are showing up this year in a big way for all of these state tournaments, so looking forward to that. I'm a big sports person. Also, I'm really into this weather that we're having. I know it's so boring for you, Scott, but really, if you're into summer weather, you cannot complain. Beautiful day.
Yeah, difficult to complain about out there, Sophie. Just rather hot, and it looks like tomorrow is going to be even hotter with more sunshine. We'll have the arrival of a cold front on Friday morning, spreading out a few strong storms. The biggest threat there appears to be some heavy rainfall and also strong wind gusts. It'll cool down briefly and then right back to the 90s next week.
All right, thanks, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We hope you join us again at 6. Until then, have a great night.